In the early Squeal of Fortune and Treasure Hunter days, Jagex released a load of amulets that were obtained through microtransaction systems. In this video, I'll talk about these items and how they function, so whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. The first amulets we're going to be talking about are the different variations of the old Clover amulet. The first of these were released in August 2013 as prizes from the Squeal of Fortune. Later in 2014, Jagex re-released a shiny and a sparkling version on Treasure Hunter, and in 2015 they returned once more in a dazzling variant. While the item names and variations might confuse you at first, these items all do pretty much the exact same thing. Clover amulets provide 1 to 3% bonus experience in any skill while wearing them, depending on the amount of leaves the amulet has. 2 leaves are the worst ones, which provide 1%, 3 leaves provide 2%, and 4 leaf amulets provide the best bonus XP percentage at 3%. The amulets came with 10 charges, where after every 10 minutes of skilling or combat, the necklace would consume a single charge. Once this happened, the player would have a 25% chance of receiving a reward from the reward table, which is different depending on which type of these amulets you had. The differences between the shiny and sparkling loot table weren't all too big. I mean, we're talking about different protein items and a different skilling outfit, but if we compare the shiny loot table to the dazzling loot table, an amulet released a year later, there are some clear differences, most notably being the amount of skilling outfit pieces you could obtain by winning one of these from Treasure Hunter. Now, I didn't know this item existed at all, but apparently the first set of Clover amulets released had a special variant being a one-leaf Clover necklace. Now, I unfortunately do not have this necklace, but thanks to a fellow creator by the name of Stormy, I can showcase what it does. The one-leaf necklace allows you to boost a random skill, so you can pick, by 5 levels once per day. And the unique and weird thing about the boost is that it lasts 30 minutes and regenerates like an overload when drained, as indicated by this stat drain test. This is hands down one of the weirdest and likely most forgotten items in the game. The next amulet on this list is one you might recognize, because I think it's one that has been talked about more often in the past by YouTubers that were active at the time. The Heart Freezer amulet. This amulet was actually a drop from Treasure Hunter and a possible reward from the previously covered Clover necklaces. The amulet provided players a chance to receive Hearts of Ice while skilling or doing combat, and had a grand total of 100 charges, rewarding you with a maximum of 100 Hearts of Ice. Now, I'm going to give you a refresher in case you do not remember this mechanic or if you weren't around back then. Hearts of Ice were a currency you could use to rig Treasure Hunter in your favor to have a higher chance of receiving certain items. You do this by freezing out the prizes from the prize pool at a cost of 1 heart per prize frozen per key. This system was removed several years later as part of a change to Treasure Hunt in September 2021. Players that owned the amulet were and are still able to claim a cosmetic version of the amulet from Diango. Next up, we've got the Alchemist Amulet, some of the oldest MTX necklaces in the game, with the regular version releasing in September of 2012. Creating the Alchemist Amulet required Alchemist fragments obtained from the Squeal of Fortune. It didn't matter how many you would use to create the amulet, but creating the amulet with more fragments would give you more coins upon creation based on the following formula, up to a maximum of a little bit over 5 million GP. When constructed with at least 10 fragments, players would receive a charged Alchemist amulet that provided 10 free high alchs per day if you had level 55 magic, which is quite a weird thing to have as a reward. But hey, Jagex kept reintroducing and reinventing this amulet in the coming years. Jagex released a Radiant version in 2019, which was similar but gave you more coins based on your total level. This one gave you 15 alchs per day and a single teleport to the GE, which preceded items like the Ring of Fortune released in 2017 and was actually quite a useful little item to have. Creating a charged Radiant Alchemist Amulet would require 10 fragments, but if you used 9 or less, you would obtain a Shining Alchemist Amulet as a cosmetic instead. In 2015, Jagex released the Brilliant Alchemist Amulet, and again, for creating it using 10 fragments to get the charged version, you would get a bunch of coins at a maximum of 7.1 million GP. Now, the Brilliant Alchemist Amulet has 100 charges, assuming you've used 10 fragments to create it, and you can use 1 per day. Jagex was trying to artificially extend their engagement numbers by adding this stupid daily, I swear. Using a charge will give you 50,000 coins with a very low chance of receiving 1 million coins. Now, the only way of you getting more charges was to actually use additional fragments on a charged amulet at 15 charges per fragment. Now, you're able to combine a brilliant Alchemist amulet with the Radiant one released in 2013 to create the ultimate luminous Alchemist amulet, which only has, some more alchs per day, and that's pretty much it. I don't know why they added this. I mean, it's honestly, the amulet is more or less useless. Sure, you can get 1 million coins, but even 2015, that's not going to be, game-changing money. Maybe for like a low-level player or like a new player, but who's going to be spending money on keys straight away? Come on. Such a weird thing to add. Like, this has to have been an experiment to increase player engagement numbers. Be sure to let me know if you have any of these items and or if you knew of their existence. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.